Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all.
A rivalry renewed on the biggest stage imaginable here at David S. Mack Sports Complex on the campus of Hofstra University. It's St. Anthony's and Chaminade with a Catholic League championship on the line. The winner moves on to the Catholic State Championship. I'm Gavin Shaw alongside Jim Pittman. Jim, two great teams. They played twice this year. The game brought to you by Catholic Health. Chaminade won both the matchups during the regular season. St. Anthony's looking for a different result, obviously, this time around.
You know, back in December, St. Anthony's didn't look like a good club. They had a young backcourt. Their young backcourt has grown throughout the season. Coach Logano's got his team playing very well, and they're looking to come up with the upset. Chaminade is a senior-dominated team. 10 seniors, and they lost this game by 1 point to Holy Trinity in overtime last year. You know they're really focused for tonight.
And a reminder, if you're tuning in on YouTube for the first time, please go throw us a subscription. All you got to do is hit that big red button that says subscribe and follow us on all forms of social media. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you can find us at Varsity Media. And for the St. Anthony's Friars, there can only be one player to watch. Of course, it's Caleb Aurelian. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists per game. Also fantastic defensively, a couple steals, a couple blocks every night. How does he impact the game, Jim?
He catches the ball for the elbow, puts it on the floor, and finishes. He's a complete player. He's a very smart player. His 1,400 on the SAT gives an example of that. He'll be playing with Swarthmore, which is one of the top 20 Division III programs in the United States next year. And really one of the top players in the Catholic League.
Speaking of which, the only one ahead of him in Nassau and Suffolk in terms of scoring is David DeBuscher. David DeBuscher, called by his head coach, Dan Feeney, the most efficient player he's ever coached, and that 49% from three-point range really stands out. 20 points per game, only takes him 12 and a half shots to get there on a night-to-night basis.
He understands how to play the game. He moves well without the ball. He'll set a back screen and curl and get the shot. He's very unselfish, and he's a determined young man because he doesn't want to go down with another defeat. He's a senior, and he remembers last year's loss to Trinity.
Heartbreak for Chaminade, an upset against that Holy Trinity team. The Flyers, though, returned a whole lot of key pieces from a year ago. St. Anthony's, on the other hand, Jim, this was expected to be a rebuilding year for them as we take a look at their starting lineup presented by Catholic Health. And you see the backcourt right away, a freshman and a sophomore for the Friars, and yet they've gotten all the way to this championship game despite that inexperience at arguably the most important position on the floor.
Well, Kevin Moore, as an 8th grader at Comsquad last year, started. Okay, he had a 27-point game as a freshman for Sal Logano. He's averaging 8.1 points a game and made a huge shot in the semifinals. Nick View is just a tough player, just a sophomore. He got knocked down twice in the fourth quarter the other night and came back and led his team He's averaging close to 9 points a game. And again, one's a 10th grader, the other one's a freshman, but they play a lot beyond their years.
And then let's flip it over to the Chaminade side of things. And this is a team, I mean, we mentioned Dave DeBuscher, right? A prodigious scoring season, but they are defined by their cohesion and their balance offensively.
One player I really like is Devin Dillon, the junior, on a senior-dominated lineup. He's probably the best defender. He can guard all 5 different positions. And Toli Regionitis is an excellent shooter, looking to go to prep school. Didn't play a lot last year. Now he's one of their best players. And Bradley Wycoff's an interesting story. He had to play point guard out of necessity. Connolly got hurt over the summer. And as a result, they had to figure out, what are we going to do? So we're going to take a forward and make it a point forward, and Bradley Wycoff's really done a good job. And Joey Canals, hey, he's a big guy, but he can step out and really knock down the three. He loves the left wing. The one thing I like, Gavin, about this team is they really know how to run their sets. A lot of back screening, really looking to move the ball. Good spacing, good timing. 2 keys to half-court offense, timing and spacing, and Coach Feeney's team's got that.
One of the great rivalries on Long Island. Dave DeBuscher looking for a championship to end his high school career on a high. Will he find it, or will St. Anthony's deny it? We'll find out next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Packed house here at the David S. Mack Sports Complex, here to watch St. Anthony's and Chaminade, a rivalry renewed, a matchup that took place twice during the regular season. Both times, Chaminade coming out on top of the first game. Jim went down to the wire 64-62 in favor of Chaminade. The second time, domination for the Flyers, a 65-49 victory just 2.5 weeks ago.
And that game was played out in St. Anthony's, so they played well on each other's opposite court.
It's worth noting, though, St. Anthony's, for both of those games, did not have KJ Duff. They are undefeated on the season when Duff plays.
KJ Duff, a football player, an outstanding rebounder. This is one of the keys to this game, Gavin, is they want to make it a physical game, get the ball inside. They feel that's his strength. Chaminade, on the other hand, feels they must match St. Anthony's physicality. Chaminade really shares the ball well. Anthony's does the same, but at the same time, they got to get the ball inside and they have to finish.
Yeah, and getting a chance to talk to Dan Feeney this week, he said he knows that Sal Logano is going to throw a unique wrinkle out there, something that Chaminade did not see in the first matchup, or the first two matchups, between the two teams, and his Flyers just have to stay calm and be ready for it.
Well, they opened the game against St. John the Baptist today, 1-3-1. They jumped out early. St. John the Baptist made their run to get back in the game. Well, we'll see what Sal's going to do.
The Chaminade fans are fired up for this one, in uniform, ready to rock, and so are we. St. Anthony's in the black and gold uniform, the Flyers in the white-red with the gold trim. The only hint of unity between two schools who frankly dislike each other. It'll be Bradley Wyckoff, the senior point forward, jumping center with Aurelian. So KJ Duff coming off the bench. That's kind of been the comfort zone for Sal Logano all season, not wanting to change it up. And it's St. Anthony's ball to start things off, and we are underway here at Hofstra. Kevin Moore, the freshman who's really come on of late, misses the opening shot, but it's bounded by Tom Snyder. Nick View slinging it back to Aurelian. Aurelian swatted away. Good verticality by Joe Knaus. And Chaminade out and running. Dribble drive, and Tony Vlagianitis can't hit. Great pace this game early, Jim. Both sides just trying to get those nerves out.
Playing right of intensity right for the start.
More to the rim, using his physicality. Can't get the layup to go.
You'll see Chaminade reversing the ball across the court constantly.
DeBuscher guarded by the freshman Moore, and that's a contested three for Knaus. He's had games this year where he's hit 9 triples and 6 triples. He can really get hot in a hurry.
Loves the wing.
Him and DeBuscher, the top 2 shooters in the Nassau-Suffolk County League in terms of their three-point production. Aurelian, a little bit of a forced shot there. And it will stay with St. Anthony's as Piers Vlagianitis got a piece of it.
Aurelian likes the ball at the elbow, likes to face up and go to the basket. Good outside defense that time by Chaminade.
Ball lobbed in and nearly stolen by Wyckoff. 5 seconds on the clock now. Aurelian has to create some magic. Just flings it up. And a shot clock violation. Jim, in games like this, how do you get your team just to calm down, obviously to channel that adrenaline, but not to let it control them?
Slow down, run a set play that's going to get you going to the basket so you possibly can get to the foul line. There's a back screen.
And popping off of it is Vlagianitis, can't hit. Rebound tipped around and Snyder flies for it. Saligano screams out the set. Snyder left alone. We saw in the regular season game against St. John the Baptist, he hit a couple open deep ones. DeBuscher hounded by the combination of View and Moore. Can't find an opening early. Has a step back here. In and out. And just like that, KJ Duff gets ready to check into the basketball game less than 3 minutes in. Saligano didn't want to disrupt his rhythm, but Duff is going to be one of the most impactful players on this basketball game one way or another.
He went with Mannix as it started tonight because he wanted to have more perimeter pressure. Coach Logano feels that he forces the ball out. Chaminade makes their offense go further away.
What an INT by Aurelian. Up ahead, Snyder, smart play, just chucking it off of DeBuscher as he was towing that baseline.
Snyder's a great lacrosse player. He's going to wind up going to Virginia playing for the Cavaliers. Here's the steal here, Gavin.
Almost looked like a football play, but not from Duff, from Aurelian. As Nick View, a fantastic three-point shooter, misses his first shot from distance. So still scoreless over 3 minutes in. DeBuscher gets off his second shot, and that's been a real emphasis from Dan Feeney. He wants DeBuscher to chuck it early. He feels as if it takes the pressure off of all of DeBuscher's teammates.
He's the go-to guy, averaging close to 20 points a game, so he has the green light.
Duff lost the basketball. Snyder there to recover it. Snyder, tough shot, and the first bucket of this ball game belongs to Tom Snyder.
3.5 minutes into it.
Knaus answers.
Friendly roll here at the Mac Center for Knaus.
Aurelian bully ball. Rebound won by Knaus. DeBuscher from way past the college line. Aurelian wins the ball initially, but then diving for it is Devin Dillon. And possession arrow will give Chaminade the ball.
See the nervous jitters in the game by the shooting percentages? Played over 4 minutes, 3-2 your score.
How do you feel about the shots DeBuscher's taking so far?
I think he's rushing them. I think they got to be a little more patient. He's very effective setting the back screen and curling instead of trying to create.
Quick pass into Dillon, who gets the layup to go. And Jim, you love Devin Dillon's game.
He's so tough. He can guard anybody on the court. You know, for a guard, doesn't mind going to the rim, doesn't mind contact. Frankly, my kind of player.
View, foul line jumper, cashes it in.
Sophomore out of Levittown.
Vlagianitis, and Moore steals it away. A foot race to the bucket. Moore's going to win it. Streaking in, and patient on the putback attempt was Wyckoff, but blocked away initially by Duff and then couldn't get a second shot up.
Here's the example of Dylan's toughness. Went against the two tall players of St. Anthony's, drew the foul. Jack Connolly coming in for for Chaminade. He was their point guard going into the summer, but hurt his leg in AAU ball. To really fight back to get back in the game. Terrible injury back in July.
Needed emergency surgery at Boston Children's Hospital's Knaus has his second three.
Chaminade plays man-to-man 90% of the time. Might see a little 1-1-3. Most of the time it's man-to-man.
St. Anthony's hoping to win this ball game with their physicality, but Aurelian just throwing up a prayer, but Duff snatches the ball out of the air as he mossed his defender and put it back in. Trying to answer quickly and able to do so is Vlagianitis. He's on the board.
Don't celebrate when you win, when you score, because you've got to get back defensively. Chaminade with a quick answer after the layup by St. Anthony's.
So correction on Duff. He did play in the first matchup between the two teams when it was a 2-point game. Did not play in the second. So clearly makes a monumental difference. Streaking ahead is Vlagianitis after he tipped the ball, rushed the layup, but there to clean it up is Jack Connolly, looking perfectly healthy.
Always trail the break guy. You might be lucky. Connolly right there with a good tip.
The human insurance policy was Jack Connolly that time. Aurelian botched it. DeBuscher on the kick out. Knaus can't hit his third three.
Set play here for the Friars. Little weave up top. Into a pick and roll? No.
Moore has it poked away by Jack Connolly. Slip pass, Duff, fouled by Knaus.
Duff with a little ducking move, got a nice pass inside. You got to front that if you're Chaminade. Duff's too close to the basket.
KJ Duff hasn't played basketball since the 7th grade. We should know, we keep saying football star. We haven't said the level quite yet. I mean, a 3-star recruit, widely considered a top 70 wide receiver in the country, offers from the likes of Texas A&M, a whole bunch of ACC schools. And you see the athleticism, Jim, obviously translates to the basketball court.
10 offensive rebounds in the semifinal game.
Goes up and gets it with two hands. Salagano says that's what makes the difference.
What came up empty on the free throw line.
DeBuscher leaves it off. And Vlagianitis short from distance. Vlagianitis' name sounds familiar to Nassau County sports fan. His cousin, Leonidas, the leading scorer for Garden City High School.
Father and uncle, twin brothers, played at Holy Trinity.
Tough catch from Snyder. Turns and puts it in. And Tom Snyder, a lacrosse guy first, but has a real composure on the basketball court as he beat the buzzer that time. And Jim Pittman, we got ourselves a basketball game.
A little nervous energy in the beginning. Took 4 minutes for somebody to get on the board. But both teams are playing hard. Defense is going to win this out.
Flyers up by 3 after 1 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Back here at Hofstra, 13-10 lead for the Flyers over the Friars after 8 minutes of action. We take a look at both huddles. Jim, what do you see from Dave DeBuscher, scoreless after a quarter?
I think he's rushing his shot. I think if he uses a shot fake, he'll be able to get by guys and make pull-ups. He'll still plays within himself. He still plays hard. And his shot is eventually going to help. You can't be that good of a player and have a complete cold evening.
And it's important to remember, again, the far line is not the three-point line for this game. It's that middle blue line. That's the high school three-point line. Duff doubled. Aurelian, the other star in this game, he was held scoreless in that first quarter as well. Moore loses the basketball. Connolly flying out of the pack with it. Conley shakes view. Rebound batted around, and another one for Wyckoff. He can't put it in.
You know, both teams struggling with the field. Second shots are going to be a very important factor here. Opportunities to score.
Shot clock down to 3 seconds. Moore has to put it up. Can't get it to go. Wyckoff holds strong on the rebound. DeBuscher splits the double team, and what a find to Devin Dillon.
Shot fake, drive by, find Dillon for a layup. Dillon has the assignment guarding Aurelian. He gives up about 7 inches.
Jump hook off the mark for Snyder.
Sharma being very patient now offensively. There's a curl shot.
DeBuscher off the mark. Salagano wants to talk, so we'll step aside as well. A 5-point advantage for Chaminade, 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Look inside Dan Feeney's huddle in just his second season coaching the Flyers. Bobby Paul was previously the head man for the last 9 years, and then they actually just flipped roles. Paul still on the staff. He's the assistant coach now. I know you got a chance to talk to him pregame.
Yeah, Bob and I had a nice talk last night, talked about getting ready for this game. He has a lot of respect for Coach Logano's coaching style. He likes how his team is defined, how Coach Logano defines the Flyers' positions. And like this, they always play well down the stretch. And as a result, they're in a game, championship game.
This is, we noted, KJ Duff. I mean, just having him available and getting him fully acclimated, winning their last now 11 games that Duff has played in. And it was interesting, the adjustment from Coach Logano. He said, this isn't necessarily how we play every year, but we realized on some nights it was just enough for us to be the bigger, more physical team. And given how often we're seeing Duff and Aurelian together, that seems to be the game plan against Chaminade. They get the ball inside to Duff, and it's batted away by David DeBuscher. I thought one comment in the pregame was particularly interesting from Dan Faney. He said, they're better athletes, we're better basketball players, and it's just a matter of what wins out.
Excellent point. Chaminade always plays well together, very well sharing the ball.
Aurelian still looking for his first back skid and finding it.
Tough move. Drive left, shoot right. 15-footer.
So Caleb Aurelian on the board. Connolly doing good work off the bench. DeBuscher with room. Cans his first three.
Tension was drawn into the paint. DeBuscher curled to the top of the circle, knocked it down.
Even when he's not scoring, DeBuscher has such a great effect with his magnetism as Duff puts in a jumper on the other end.
They don't really respect Duff's shooting. He backed off on him. KJ made him pay.
Heart of a champion. Jack Conley scoots in for two. Speaking of hearts of a champion, you were talking about it earlier. Conley's story just incredible. Had a Paul George type of leg break.
Yes.
Falling into the stanchion in AAU play. Needed emergency surgery immediately and was cleared to play by December 19th. After injuring it over the summer. Quick move from Aurelian. Duff, third try. Can't get either to go. And finally the glass is cleaned by Knaus, who has 6 points and 5 rebounds. Dribble drive. No one home to stop Ricky Gunther off the bench.
Just a sophomore can really get to the rack. Rarely see a sophomore playing at Chaminade on the varsity level. He's doing a great job.
What are you seeing from St. Anthony's defensively? We're starting to see some gaps for him.
They got to do a better job of closing out St. Anthony's. And they got to score on their offense.
Closing hard, but out of control.
Yes.
Nick View has only taken one shot so far. Chaminade's defense really standing out to me. View can't get it inside as the shot clock expires. The second shot clock violation of this game against St. Anthony's.
1 point, Gavin. 2 fouls have been called in this game. And the defense has been really intense. So that's got to be an advantage, I would think, for Chaminade. Because Anthony's, they're going to be pushed out defensively.
Lagianitis to Busher. And which way did the foul go on the screen? Looks like it's going to go against Tom Snyder.
And the Busher came off a baseline screen, caught the ball in the corner. Here's the play. Right off the screen by Dillon. Launches a three and fighting through the screen with Snyder. That's why the ball is on the side.
Snyder's first foul of the game. DeBuscher airmails the three from well beyond even NBA range. St. Anthony's puts in Chris Welling for the first time this game. Welling on the season, right around 4 points, 4 rebounds per game, a football kid. Brings some toughness for St. Anthony's.
Accepts his role. Gives you a good effort every time he's on the floor.
Duff. And Wyckoff committed the foul.
And they got the ball inside earlier to Duff, but he missed the 2 free throws. This could be a major factor down the road. He's getting his touches. He's got to finish when he gets to the line. For 3 on the evening so far.
Again, hasn't played basketball since 7th grade. And, it gives you an idea of what kind of athlete he is, that he can step in after 6 years off and dominate the way he has. But some of the finer points of the game going to be difficult to acclimate to that quickly. And a lane violation went against St. Anthony's that time.
On the shooter. Duff rushed in, tried to get his own rebound. Not shooting with confidence. No, his quarterback's his backup, Dante Torres. He's the quarterback of the football team.
They actually approached Salagano together this preseason, just came to his office and said, hey, you know what, we want to play basketball this year. And Salagano has always loved second sport athletes. There are a lot of great ones walking around the hallways at St. Anthony's. His mentality has always been, why not take advantage of them?
Especially when they're both 6'6". It's hard to turn that down.
It definitely helps. Conley from the elbow. Skying high is Dillon.
Dillon does all the intangibles on the court. Justin Jr. has the ball with it now.
Heck of an athlete.
From Bayside, Queens.
Conley. Dillon kept it alive. Wyckoff forces it up. In and out.
It's a defensive struggle, Gavin.
Aurelian's doubled every time he touches the basketball. And that's going to be off of Welling. So it feels like, Jim, correct me if I'm wrong on this, it feels like spacing a very significant issue for St. Anthony's. And in turn, every time Caleb Aurelian gets a touch, he can't go one-on-one. The help is right there.
Dillon's letting him catch the ball, being strong with it, and he turns left. The help is going to come by Chaminade.
Wyckoff, extra pass to Busher, can't pay it off. That's a shot that typically goes in for DeBuscher. 49% from three on the season. It's 4 a game. Final minute of this first half. It's flown by. Very few stoppages and a whole lot of defense. View, that was pretty.
Nice pace up by the sophomore from Levittown. Only a second between the shot clock and the game clock. Chaminade's going to hold for the end. We go at 9 seconds to go on the shot clock.
Coach Feeney calls for a set. Little pick and roll. Aurelian steals it away. 4 seconds on the clock. There's still time. Aurelian head up. He fired it earlier than he needed to over the backboard. And that'll do it for half number one. St. Anthony's down by 6, but given that they've scored only 6 points, you got to imagine Salagano's got to be feeling pretty good heading into the break.
Both teams are locking up. You know, Chaminade's been very cold on their shooting. St. Anthony's, on the other hand, has missed a couple easy shots inside. But you got to credit more of that toward the defense on both teams.
So we'll take a break and be back in 10 minutes, 16 minutes to decide an CHSAA champion between the Flyers and Friars.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Hi, I'm Gene Sterator, CBS Rules Analyst and longtime sports official. For the adults watching this video, you grew up in a world where officials, umpires, and referees for youth sports took their place regularly and reliably ahead of game time. Today, unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder to fill those jobs. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media, and there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Massive shortages of officials now lead to games being canceled, and the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. I'm hoping we all can begin to see youth competition through a different lens. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule.
Any call, any decision, any human effect on wins and losses has become subject to not just withering criticism, but physical threats. There's a vicious cycle at work. Fans chase away officials, and there is a smaller pool to draw from, which makes it harder to get quality, well-trained people in position. The entire game suffers.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines? This sort of verbal abuse and threatening behavior takes a toll on all officials and makes them leave the game altogether.
Did you know, from 2018 to 2022, an estimated 50,000 high school referees, roughly 20%, have quit. Half of the remaining referee population is at least 50 years old, but young officials are rarely staying more than 3 years in the job.
If the number of officials working contests in all sports doesn't begin to increase, there won't be enough officials to work the games. That means schedules will get cut, teams or even sports might get canceled. In many states, this is already happening.
Remember that officials are invested in what they do. Many officials have regular, full-time jobs, and they're sacrificing time away from their families. Try to demonstrate empathy. Put yourself in their position. Think how you would feel about getting yelled at throughout your workday.
Yelling and arguing with officials sends the wrong message to young players. According to Play by the Rules Sports Advocacy, it teaches them that it's not okay to make a mistake. They can blame others for their actions. They can disrespect authority figures. And it's okay to be rude and selfish.
You know, officials enforce rules, keep competitions fair, and make player safety a priority, allowing youth sports to be a valuable arena for growth. If we can all just work together and be more empathetic to not just the officials, but everyone else in youth and high school sports, we can then preserve what many of us have embraced about athletics. And you and I know the benefits of sports, right? Let's spread that gratitude and be proud of what we can build and not blind to how it's being torn down. Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
So what happens now? Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control, and we have an experiment for you to try. Simply stated, just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Your child's sporting memory should be about how you helped inspire and not about how you caused embarrassment.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
6-point lead for the Chaminade Flyers as we head into the third quarter. An emphasis for Chaminade this season has been working on their defense. Just 3 losses on the year, and 2 of them, one to Lehigh, one to St. John the Baptist. They gave up over 100 points. That is obviously very rare at the high school level. It was against 2 great offenses, 1 national program. But all that being said, Dan Feeney was not happy that his program was the only one in the Catholic League to have that happen to them twice. The Flyers playing a fantastic defensive game today. Jim.
The Lehigh game is more explainable because of the level of their talent. The St. John the Baptist isn't really that explainable. So they have a young lineup, and they just didn't come to play defensively. So obviously it's been a point of emphasis, and they only gave up 16 points so far in the first half against the Friars.
What are you seeing from them schematically that's allowing that to happen?
You know what? I think they're doing a great job double-teaming in the post. I think Dylan's doing a good job at the point of attack defensively when Aurelian gets the ball. And when he turns into the middle, he's getting double-teamed. They're closing out on the shooters, and they're really making St. Anthony's work. But then again, Chaminade's had to work on their end of the ball offensively as well because St. Anthony's also getting in defensively. It's a defensive war this evening.
And a reminder, you're watching the CHSAA Finals presented by Catholic Health. And Jim, as we flip sides of the ball and look at St. Anthony's, Caleb Aurelian averages 18 points per game on the season, second leading scorer in the Nassau-Suffolk side of the Catholic School Finals. How do they get him going?
Isolate him away from the help side and maybe drop step baseline as opposed to going to the middle. Every time I see him catch the ball on the right block, he's turned to the middle. Maybe clear it out on the left side so he can drive baseline. If you do run a second guy at him, then you're going to have a shooter on a diagonal pass. Make him a passer as well as a scorer. Now, one thing that also stands out for me, we highlighted Aurelian for his scoring, and we highlighted DeBuscher for Chaminade. Combined, they have 5 points.
And DeBuscher, I mean, he wasn't shy about shooting, right? Getting off a bunch of shots from NBA range. Just 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 from the floor in the first half. And it feels like he's gotten good looks, but I know you were noting during one of the breaks that the big thing for him is he has to be willing to drive to the basket when he generates that blow-by.
Well, he's the number 1 guy in the scouting report, so you know they're going to breathe all over him, make it very difficult having a hard evening. So when that happens, get your defender up, put it on the floor, look to get to the rim, and maybe get to the foul line. One of the most amazing things is there's only 4 fouls been called in the whole half.
And remember, we did have that one play where DeBuscher got the blow-by, drew the big, and then hit Dylan for the layup. And if you're watching for the first time or the millionth time and you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe on youtube.com/Varsity Media and follow us on all forms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Chaminade ball to start this second half. Defensive battle. Will either offense find their footing in this third quarter? Lagianitis thinking about it. The triple left short that time from Knaus, who had 2 of them in the first half. Saligano fired up. More one-on-one with Lagianitis trying to get the switch. Gets into the paint. Snyder left alone. Duff cleans it up.
That's the physicality we're talking about by St. Anthony's with the battle of the backboard.
KJ Duff, 6 points, 6 rebounds. Knaus to Busher, extra pass, unselfish, and paying it off is Joe Knaus.
That extra pass, I'm sure Coach Feeney talked about at halftime.
Right to the rim is Aurelian for his second bucket of this ballgame. Pre-game, that was an emphasis for Coach Feeney, making the extra pass to beat the speed and athleticism of St. Anthony's defensively. That time they got it done. Knaus, he's not shy, missing that time.
Good box out by Tom Snyder.
It's been another great feature for Chaminade defensively. Kevin Moore can be an explosive scorer. Had 24 points in the second half against St. John the Baptist. Held in check in that first half. And that time forced to pass it away to Snyder again.
Hasn't been able to get to the rim easily. That time he was forced to pass it back out to Snyder.
Two defenders to DeBuscher. Vlaginitis, extra look. Knaus left it short. But again, good ball movement from Chaminade.
5 men touched the ball.
You question the result, not the process. Duff losing the basketball.
Yeah, we'll see how Duff does in the free throw line. It's been a difficult situation for him early this evening.
0 for 4 so far.
You know, championship games, teams do come out shooting poorly usually because of the magnitude of the game. Now this first half's beyond them, we'll see more of the shooting improve.
Chaminade fans showed out today. Have you seen a better assortment of costumes, Jim, in your 30-plus years doing this?
It's a lot of years. There's a lot of costumes, but they are very creative.
So Duff finally hits one. And St. Anthony's out on the break. View to Duff. Back to Duff. 2-point ball game. KJ Duff, the first 5 points of the second half for St. Anthony's. Or 5 of the first 7, I should say. And picks up a foul there.
Interesting offensive set by Chaminade. Dillon posting up at the high post at the foul line. He's a guard, but he's such a good passer. That's why they're looking for him there.
Vlaginitis tries one from NBA range and cashes it in.
He can heat up. 43 threes on a regular season.
A 38% shooter from distance. Played into Duff. Duff sees two defenders. High-low game with Aurelian. And now Chaminade out on the break. Oh, DeBuscher had the right idea, but Snyder got a hand in the passing lane. Or that would have been another layup for Dillon. Dillon finding Knaus backdoor. Good two-man game.
That's why Dillon's at the high post. Great passer, backdoor layup.
They're leaving Snyder alone, daring him to shoot, and Snyder makes him pay that time.
Big smile by Coach Logano as Snyder buries it from the top of the circle.
That shot's going to be there all night. Deep one for DeBuscher! Feels like the offenses have woken up a little bit, Jim.
Both teams are starting to heat up.
St. Anthony's 10 points in the first half, or 16 points in the first half, 10 in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. Kevin Moore plus the harm.
Kevin's been quiet so far in this game, but right there he shows his quickness and finishes on the bank shot layup. Strong right hand, you got to force him left.
Take another look at it, using the screen from Snyder.
And right to the basket. Chaminade late on a rotation. More looking to complete the traditional three-point play.
Four-point ball game.
Chaminade's going to be very patient here offensively.
Connolly's fast. View is faster. Doesn't have the numbers. We'll pull it out. Moore seeing a lane, losing the basketball. Arulian doesn't typically miss that shot.
That's the spot, 12 feet from the rim.
Connolly from the college line. Lagianitis picked up the foul, battling Arulian for that board. Just the first on the senior guard.
Here he comes with Unitas. Easy call for the official. Still leaving Snyder open.
Give and go with Duff. Forced the shot up and just short. Tricky from DeBuscher, the Dirk. And Wyckoff and Arulian get tangled up. And the foul goes against Wyckoff.
Surprise look by Wyckoff. Didn't think he had the foul call. Here's the replay. Step back by DeBuscher. Arulian's got inside position. Wyckoff gets called on the foul.
Salagano wants to talk, so we'll step aside as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network with a 4-point lead for Chaminade over St. Anthony's.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Both offenses finding their stride. Feels like St. Anthony's still has a level to go with Caleb Aurelian. Not really shooting particularly well yet. He's still stuck at 4 points, but Chaminade can say the same thing about their leading scorer, David DeBuscher, stuck at 6 points.
Yeah, he made one long three earlier in the quarter, but he struggled so far. Again, I think he's just shot big and get into his mid-range game. Or pick up some fouls.
Like his grandfather, also a talented passer.
Gavin, I'm old enough to remember those days.
Is my dad
favorite all-time team?
Oh yeah, my dad's all-time favorite player. So it's been drilled in.
Huh.
DeBuscher actually got a shout out on the MSG broadcast the other night. Tipped around. View with 3 on the shot clock, tries to turn around and gets it to go. A magic trick from Nick View.
Are you sure he's a sophomore? Wow.
This underclassman backcourt for St. Anthony's has come to play in this second half. Lagianitis with a man in his face, doesn't matter, rips the cords from distance.
Moore's got to do a better job of closing out on a shooter. That one hurts. Can't leave that shooter open. That's on the scouting report.
Duff catches the ball at the foul line, or rather Aurelian, and they're content to let Snyder take that shot as often as he wants it. Moore sees a gap. It closes quickly as the officials continue to let both sides get away with a lot of physicality. DeBuscher sets the feet. Great fight from Dylan. Wyckoff tried to throw it off as the quarter expired. Chaminade up by 5 as we head into the fourth. Do the Friars have one more run in them? We're about to find out. Championship on the line when we come back on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
The offenses have woken up here at Hofstra. Jim, you just pointed this out to me. 16 points in the first half for Chaminade, 15 in that third quarter. What's clicking for the Friars?
St. Anthony's doing a much better job of finishing the drives. That amazing shot by Butte. Like you said, it took 16 minutes to get 16 points and 8 minutes to get 15 points. They won that quarter, but they're still down by 5.
And then for the Chaminade side of things, the ball movement that was so picturesque for them. I mean, evoking memories. Maybe this is sacrilegious saying this, but of those early 70s Knicks teams that won back-to-back titles and kind of defined that aspect of the sport. Chaminade's thrived on that all season. I mean, it's kind of an easy comp, right? Because what drove the ball movement for those Knicks teams was that they had shooting at every position, which was not normal in the NBA at the time. Chaminade certainly has that on the high school level, and we saw that in this third quarter.
And it's starting to heat up, so...
View, another floating jumper, gets so much elevation on that shot and makes it a one-possession game. Chaminade playing very small right now with Wyckoff, or rather Knaus, off the court. Connolly poked away. Moore nearly got away with it, but quick hands by Connolly to win the basketball back. Blagianitis lost it trying to hit DeBuscher. Shot clock dwindling. Conley blocked away. Batted forward by Duff. Aurelian and Connolly giving up his body to knock the ball out of bounds. Great efforts on both sides, Jim Pittman.
Heads up tip by Duff to get Aurelian out on the break. And then Connolly put it into fifth gear to stop the layup. Here's the tip. Aurelian with a foot race, and look, Connolly really put it into extra gear, tipping the ball out of bounds.
And Moore traveled with the basketball. Shuffled the feet. And Knaus, just like that, back into the game for Chaminade after a quick breather. And Devin Dillon will hit the bench for Dan Feeney's squad. Blagianitis, Knaus, that's a lot of room for him. Can't take advantage of it.
Hughes playing with a lot of confidence, number one for St. Anthony's.
Duff has Knaus and has him beat.
Get it inside to the big fella. Chaminade might have to front that. Duff is too easily getting the ball.
Duff, the first Friar into double figures. He is 10. With 6 minutes to go in the ball game. DeBuscher pressured by View. Wyckoff extra pass. Blagianitis to pay off the fantastic ball movement. And what a rebound by Aurelian. Duff, same shot, different result.
Faded a little bit on that, came up short.
Salagano doesn't mind it, he's clapping it up. Wyckoff to Knaus. Duff the cleanup. Nasty crossover from Moore. Give off to Duff, who can't hit again. St. Anthony's oh so close to their first lead of this ball game. Knaus. View recovers the miss. The officials are really letting him play. Oh, what handle from Moore. A magic trick from the freshman, but then he's blocked by Conley, gets it back. Can't get it in. Aurelian stripped of the ball. And a timeout called for by Dan Feeney. We need a breather as well, an up and down pace, a 1-point game, a title on the line. Doesn't get better than this. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Not sure.
A look inside Salagano's huddle in his 7th season leading the Friars. They won the league title the first year he came in 2016, won it again in 2018, won it again in 2020. So he is overdue for a championship, though. When you take into account the COVID season, he can keep his streak of winning a title every other year alive.
His teams are always ready to play during playoff time. And he's got a young backcourt who doesn't play young right now. He's got 2 tough guys in the post and a blue-collar guy in Tom Snyder.
Connolly, the start, the stop, nothing there. Knaus induces the flyby. Big time rebound from Wyckoff. Vlagianitis, double pump.
Another opportunity for Anthony to take the lead.
View was stripped.
Set play for St. Anthony's.
Snyder again given space. Again can't hit.
Stagnant offense by the Friars. Snyder relegated to shooting and jumper.
DeBuscher had that shot deflected.
And again, the Friars look to take the lead, and Coach Logano's going to go to the clipboard.
So will step aside as well. Still a 1-point lead for Chaminade. Salagano trying to get the Friars up by 1.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see extraordinary life. The most extraordinary of which is you. It's because our Catholic faith places the highest value on people. All people. It's the inspiration for our exceptional medical care with unmatched compassion. And it's why at Catholic Health you're more than a patient. You're someone's family, best friend, and a neighbor to us all. Long live Long Island.
Shooting free throw.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I can jump all
Back
over.
to action here at Hofstra. David S. Mack Center, a whole lot of greats to come through as the Flyers lead by 1. The Friars got the first bucket of the game by KJ Duff, but haven't led since the opening minutes here at Hofstra. An astounding stat. Chaminade has yet to take a free throw with 3.5 minutes left in regulation.
Talked to Coach Logano last night at St. Anthony's. He was concerned about that. Figured that Chaminade being such a great free throw shooter and St. Anthony's wanting to play tough hard-nosed defense, he was afraid the whistle was going to go the other way. Amazing. Chaminade never to the line all evening.
Duff to view. DeBuscher sticking right on him. Duff over the double team. Missed his last 3 short jumpers.
Come up empty again, St. Anthony's. Good look. Duff's got to finish.
DeBuscher, Knaus cans it. 14 points and 4 triples for Joe Knaus.
Biggest shot of the evening.
Also 7 rebounds for Knaus. Wyckoff knocks that ball away from Aurelian.
And a foul on the floor. Goal against Wyckoff. 6 fouls against Chaminade, only 1 against St. Anthony's. This one, St. Anthony's goes to the line.
Moore triple teamed. Aurelian blocked away by Wyckoff.
Letting them play, no whistle.
Wyckoff not a great athlete, but sturdy at 6'4", holds his ground and uses those long arms well. Few fantastic defense on DeBuscher all night. Wyckoff bullying his way in, and the layup rattles home.
Stocky point guard gets to the paint. Uses his body to finish the shot.
What a time for his first field goal of the game, his first points of the game. The Chaminade fans can sense it now. Snyder, that's a tough look. Duff battles for the rebound, but Wyckoff able to win it, or rather, Knaus able to grab it. 90 seconds to go, 6-point ball game.
You St. Anthony's, do you foul? Get the clock stopped. You only committed 1.
What would you do in this situation?
I'd start fouling. I gotta get this shot clock down, game clock down. I need possessions.
Dylan Knaus, great closeout from Aurelian. And Dan Feeney wants to talk things over. We'll keep it right here with just 69 seconds to go. 7 seconds on the shot clock. You got to imagine David DeBuscher is going to touch this basketball, Jim.
I would think 7 seconds remaining. You ought to get the ball inside. Wyckoff doing a good job off the dribble last time. Or you get DeBuscher on a drive and kick the Knaus.
And remember, if you want to bring your games to life, you can do so with Varsity Media Sportscast, featuring announcers, instant replay, multiple cameras, graphics. It's great for rivalry games, senior days, general promotion of your team. You can contact us to book a sportscast at 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net. And at this point, Jim, if you're St. Anthony's, obviously you're not going to foul, at least intentionally, late in the shot clock. On offense, do you need a 3 or can you go for a quick 2?
Quickest shot available. You need possessions. And then I come back and I press, then I stop the clock with a foul.
And we talked about the Friars offense finally coming to life in the third quarter. In the fourth, it's more of what we saw in the first 2 quarters, just 4 points in this fourth quarter for St. Anthony's.
And how many times did they come down only 1 point away from taking a lead? They just couldn't finish.
And it just feels like, such a well-scouted game by the Chaminade coaching staff. They know exactly who they want to shoot on St. Anthony's and from where. Ball sent in. DeBuscher speeding to the rim, gets the layup to go. An 8-point lead for Chaminade. And now the pressure's on St. Anthony's to score quickly.
You said DeBusschere was going to touch the ball.
Really in. They need it. Don't have it. And now you got to foul if you're the Friars. Still not doing it. And now View wraps up DeBusschere.
Wasted 6 seconds that time.
And here's the other issue. I mean, you were talking about the lack of fouls for St. Anthony's as a positive. Now it's a negative because you need 2 more, or rather 5 more to put them on the line.
As soon as they touch the ball, you foul. Right now you want to try to get a steal or a 5-second count. If you can't do it, you foul immediately. Get up on everybody, try to get a steal or a 5-second violation. Now foul. That's 3.
And even if you get them quickly now, you're going to drain time just going through the procedure of racking up these fouls. The 7th one will be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Chaminade.
Here comes again.
St. Anthony's doing a good job not allowing Chaminade to gain separation. And we saw a situation yesterday on the girls' side where 20 seconds came off the clock just fouling. That ball's poked away, but a foul called on View.
Still got to do one more.
So only 3 seconds coming off the clock in total since that 3rd foul was picked up. So St. Anthony's doing a good job getting this done quickly. But now you really want to cover DeBusschere and Vlagianitis. Ball goes into the backcourt and DeBusschere fouled. 42 seconds to go.
And now you're fouling a team that's averaged 73% from the free throw line, one of the better high school foul shooting teams around.
And this is such a luxury for Dan Feeney, right? You put in Joe Canals nominally to rebound. He's also one of your best shooters.
Absolutely.
Canals a double-double, 14 points, 11 rebounds.
Looking back at this game, I think the key was when St. Anthony's down 1, 3 straight trips, couldn't score.
First free throw of the game, and it's missed. But then Wyckoff got the steal, and it's going to be St. Anthony's ball. Chris Welling comes on for St. Anthony's as Salagano just wants to get a little bit more shooting on the floor. Kevin Moore out of the game.
3-possession game. Clock is the biggest enemy for Anthony's.
View and Welling play catch. Welling needs to shoot it. Pulls up, leaves it short. And they didn't foul DeBusschere. Now he can throw it ahead. Vlagianitis takes another few seconds off the clock.
Defensive war. Chaminade got the biggest stops when it counted.
And just a bit more shot making for Chaminade. Free throw missed again though. Wyckoff running in. Unable to save it. Moore will come back on for KJ Duff. Moore to the rack, missed the layup, and that might be it. Salagano calling off his players as the clock is dribbled out, and the result is inevitable. Flyers Nation celebrating as they make up for last year, winning the Catholic League crown.
Win number 23 on the year has a title with it for the Flyers.
A year ago, they lost on a last-second and one for Holy Trinity, a 51-50 defeat. This year, they ensured it couldn't come down to the final seconds. An 8-point victory for Chaminade. How did they get it done in that fourth quarter?
Great defensive effort. St. Anthony's almost finished the game on an offensive side. Came down 3 straight trips empty. Great job by Chaminade leading their defense, and then they made big shots when it counted. And that out-of-bounds play with 7 seconds to go that Coach Feeney drew up to DeBuscher when he got that running layup, big play in the game.
So we'll step aside for the moment. When we return, the Chaminade Flyers will be crowned. The trophy presentation coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Trophy presentation about to take place here in the David S. Mack Sports Complex. Chaminade had to watch Holy Trinity get theirs a year ago. And the Flyers, remember, they lost a lot of talent off of last season's team. It was far from a guarantee they were going to be back in this game. Greg Cantwell getting interest from Ivy League schools in the Division II level. Now at St. Andrews Prep School. Albert Knaus, the older brother of the MVP of this game, Joe. Dylan Kelleher, who's playing in Pennsylvania. Matt Kelly transferring to the Hunt School in New Jersey. He was their starting point guard a year ago. So Chaminade, they brought a lot of talent back, but they also lost a lot, and despite it, man, what a job by Dan Feeney and Bobby Paul with this team.
And the adjustment they had to make after Jack Connolly got hurt in the summer. He was going to be the point guard for the season. He got hurt. They had to find the point guard, and Bradley Wycott stepped up and played point forward. And then you had Connolly coming off to the bench after he recovered from the injury. Nice mesh unit.
And we didn't get a chance to talk about it, Jim, but of course and hopefully he gets called up here in a little bit, the incredible story of Patrick Callahan. I mean, the 6'7" senior center who, during a Chaminade practice earlier this year, suffered a seizure and a heart attack. They're not sure in what order, and seemingly almost lost his life, stopped breathing for a little bit. And the credit to the Chaminade training staff, seemingly saved his life performing CPR, performing shocks, and able to get that pulse back before he went over to the hospital. He was awake and texting Dan Feeney by 5 a.m. the next morning. Apparently the text was, "Did it affect my spot in the rotation?" and totally cleared to play now. Didn't get in the game tonight, but I mean that was another guy that could have been a key piece to Chaminade. But I mean, far more importantly, I mean just an inspiration to this season. I mean, telling you, one, there are things bigger than basketball, but two, something for the Chaminade team to play for all year long.
Yeah, what a scary day on December 6th with Callahan's life on the balance, and knock on wood, everything worked out.
And getting his trophy right now. So cool to see.
He'll be going to Scranton, committed earlier in the season. Wear the purple and white next year.
And the championship game MVP goes to Anthony Vlagianitis, 9 points. Did great work with Dave DeBuscher struggling with his shot a bit tonight. Vlagianitis really filled in.
Yeah, he stepped up, made the threes. Brother and uncle both played at Holy Trinity, so there's a lot of tradition in the league.
So Chaminade will get their championship plaque. So cool to see. Heartbroken a year ago, and just what resiliency from the Flyers. I mean, that St. John the Baptist game was kind of a splash of cold water in Chaminade's face. Lost 102-88, and then came back. Haven't lost since that point. So
one day they found out on Christmas they were looking for a road trip, and they went up to Syracuse, had a big game against Christian Brothers, and they really made a decision. They got a nice season coming up.
So we'll step aside for the moment. When we come back, an interview with Joe Knaus, who had a double-double, an incredible performance. We'll get to talk to him next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
So back here at the David S. Mack Sports Complex with Joe Canals, who led Chaminade with 14 points, a double-double. Joe, it's a cliched question, but it's one that needs to be asked. Last year, you guys lose a heartbreaker at the last second. I believe your brother on the team last year as well. I mean, how does it feel to pull it off this time?
I mean, it feels amazing. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I mean, to be able to avenge my brother after what happened last year, I mean, words can't describe how I'm feeling right now, to be honest.
Well, you know, your defense was the key, especially in the fourth quarter. St. Anthony's was down one numerous times in the fourth quarter, and you guys dug in and got stops.
You know, we practice every single day as a team. Even the guys who don't play, the 10 seniors, you know, they really push us every single day, and I think that's what matters. There's no other team that has what we have. I think that's what's special here.
You guys play real well together. Talk a bit about that out-of-bounds play with DeBuscher going for the layup.
Coach drew up in the huddle. Everyone followed. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. I mean,
well-run play.
Yeah.
and David DeBuscher finishing with just 6 points tonight. But, man, that's been the emphasis from Dan Feeney this whole week. I assume this whole season it's not any one guy on this team, and you guys played off him to perfection tonight.
Yeah. You know, our team isn't consistent of one guy. We got 16 guys out here who can go out here every night and get buckets. I think that's what's important there.
All right. Joe Canals, I mean, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations, and hoping for the best for you guys going forward.
Thank you. Mom, Dad, I love you.
All right, so that'll do it from the David S. Mack Sports Complex. Chaminade fighting off a tough St. Anthony's team. For my partner, Jim Pittman, and our entire team here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, including Executive Director Ben Turchin, Technical Director Chris Sweeney, on camera Angelo Caiazzo, and, of course, the legendary Ron Pierre, and helping out on stats, John Baccio. For our entire team here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, all of you watching at home, thank you and a good night.